Hey, what's up you guys? After Reaction. Today I'm going to be reacting to some more Stargate SG-1. This is season 6, episode 17. So let's go over the comments. I'm commenting on the comments you guys got the time dilation on the replica episode backwards. Time was passing faster on the planet with the replicators than outside, so it would have been a couple hours tops that have actually passed. Hammond would barely have missed them. Oh, there you go. One plot hole. If they were on the moon the whole time and it's habitable, wouldn't the Turker have noticed the moon was habitable and scanned it too on the way past? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I just didn't say anything because I didn't want to say something. I didn't want to say it and then be corrected and feel bad about it. I don't know. Makes no sense why they wouldn't. Yeah. That had to be the most boring and pointless episode of the show so far. I don't know, there's been a few doozies. And here I was getting my hopes up when Mayborn showed up. Me too. And it's not even like they couldn't have done something amazing with the concept. Jack and Mayborn, trapped alone, slowly getting more paranoid, playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse, struggling with their inability to trust each other. That sounds awesome. Instead, we got this big pile of absolute nothing. I couldn't agree more. Very disappointing episode, I think. This episode was definitely anticlimactic, especially after seeing it from your point of view. When Jonas mentioned that the writing on the walls was from the Furlings, it leads you to believe that we may meet or learn more about them. Yes, absolutely. I was going to say that at the beginning, but it was more of a like, I didn't want to say it and then have it come true. I feel like that happens too much for me, so I didn't want to say it. It leads you to, sadly that was not the case. Perhaps the most important thing about this episode was at the very end, Jack tells Mayborn that the Toker will find him a new planet to live on. I guess Mayborn's life on Earth is over. Yeah, I don't know. I was disappointed in that episode, considering the fact that clearly they have like a really cool dynamic together and they just squandered it. Oh, I don't think I've ever used that word before. And then we have the next episode. Look at it this way, Shan. Only one Russian died this episode. The rest were all at the gate with the instructions to return the SGC if contact lost. So they're doing better. Don't feel bad about the mispronunciations. I get them wrong 80% of the time. We have had multiple clues during the season that Jonas may be more advanced than the others. In the season 6 premiere, Jonas tells Sam that he's been studying all of Daniel's work, and the Dr. Fraser said he learns much faster than the average person. At the time, it just seemed like a lame excuse to have Jonas gain as much knowledge as possible in a short amount of time so he could be the Daniel replacement. Yeah, that's what I thought. Then in the Nightwalkers episode where the residents are taken over by baby symbiotes, Jonas was picking up on minor details about the residents' behavior that indicated that the residents were half asleep, like noticing that the lady was reading the same article in a newspaper for over 30 minutes. To be fair, I mean, it takes me a while to read stuff. Another guy was pouring more than 8 cubes of sugar into his coffee. I mean, I don't drink coffee, but I would put that much sugar into my drink. Why not? And the cook getting 3 orders wrong. Honestly, this just sounds like me. But also, I mean, just because you notice those things, I don't think that would make you any, like, that advanced. I don't know. I don't think that part is enough evidence. Then this episode confirmed that when Jonas is indeed more advanced than regular humans, as stated by Nirti when she examined Jonas's DNA. Another system lord down, although I'm pretty sure she hasn't been a system lord for quite some time now, especially if all you have is a Fujifar defending you. Still a win is a win. Yeah, so let's just tally this, okay? SG-1, I think we're at like 4 or 5 system lords that they've taken down, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure. And then we have these people, I forgot what their name was, but we got them, and they're at 1 system lord down. And then we have the Tok'ra, who's sitting at a solid 0. I'm just throwing shade at you. Added nowish because I'm afraid to admit I was wrong. Okay, I was pointed out that I got the fact backwards. They weren't on the Asgard replicated infested homeworld as long as I said. 4 days on the planet, 1 hour in space, meaning 37 hours of sleep on Prometheus while landed on the planet. 23-ish minutes. The whole mission was done under an hour, less than the length of the full episode. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's not just been time dilation episodes. Remember when O'Neill got stuck on a planet for 100 days? Yeah. Or the Groundhog Day episode where no exact time span was given, but the Tok'ra had been trying to contact them for 3 months. We don't know when they began to try to contact them. So yeah, we, the audience, kind of assume it's been like 6 years. But there's been a whole lot of shenanigans going on, and it might make it like 10 years for the characters. Exactly. So like, Teal'c might have like betrayed Apophis like 10 years ago in universe time. Nope, you didn't post the Mayborn episode on YouTube last week. However, Mayborn was seen in last week's previously on for the episode where O'Neill got framed for killing Kinsey. He was only shown because he had ties to the whole NID story, though, as we saw, he wasn't in the actual episode itself. So we finally got another mention of the Furlings. Sadly, though, it looks like they've been abandoned. They've abandoned this planet a long time ago. When will we meet these guys? Will their appearance live up to O'Neill's expectations? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Given Mayborn is wanted for treason, he should have been stripped from his rank a long time ago. I suppose it's a bit of an oversight by the writers. An odd one though, since a representative of the US Air Force was known to guide the people behind the show on proper protocol. They'd have informed the writers that they wouldn't address a person who has committed treason by their former rank. Yeah, I just think it's weird. Maybe it's just kind of like, I don't know, we need to call him by his title because the audience would only recognize him from his title. I don't know, man. Apparently Amanda Tapping wasn't all that happy with how Mayborn was able to take the duck gun from Sam and complained about it to the writers, saying it made Sam look stupid. It did. The writers assured they'd make it look like it wasn't, but it ended up looking like it anyways. I have more to say about this in an upcoming note. Yep, once again the Tok'ra come through with providing a bullshit reason to not have a ship available to help. And then when they do show up, they're not being bright enough to check for life signs on surrounding planets or moons. Yeah, dum-dums. I'm guessing it doesn't rain nor get cold on this moon that O'Neill and Mayborn ended up on, because they've been in there for 3 weeks and neither of them has put any effort into making a proper place to sleep. Yeah. Why? I just had this conversation. I literally just had this exact same... Look, I'm watching Lost at the moment, and they're all just, like, sitting up on tents on the beach. And I'm like, why are you not making, like, a house? There's trees. One of the guys is a construction worker. Why are you not making a house? I don't understand. That'd be the first thing that you'd do, right? I don't know. You'd think O'Neill would have MacGyvered a roof or something. I feel like he'd know how to do that kind of shit. True, the Asgard would be able to find O'Neill and Mayborn really easily. Their disappearance would be solved in the first 5 minutes of the episode. Aha! Why did we not contact them then? So, back to Amanda Tapping. She really pushed for this emotional scene between Sam and Teal'c to happen. As I stated a couple of weeks ago, in the episode where Daniel ascends was supposed to have a scene where we see Sam crying and we get a hug from an emotional looking Teal'c. But they cut that scene. Amanda was very adamant on the fact that this scene needed to be in the episode as a way of not only making up for her losing her duck gun to Mayborn, but also get her being harsh on scientists giving up the search on O'Neill. Yeah. Especially since they have kind of like, I feel like they're a team, like the Daniel, Teal'c, O'Neill, and Sam. Like, they're all a team, right? And, like, Daniel is her friend. But, you know, her and O'Neill have a little bit more of a connection, like, that they've even spoken about. So, like, I feel like her reaction was absolutely 100% necessary. They kept running out of time to shoot the scene, but Amanda kept pushing. And so we ended up with an emotional scene where Sam cries and Teal'c hugs her. How do you run out of time on an episode that was crappy already? I'm sorry! I don't want to shit on a show. But, like, dude. Alright, I had to rewind to make sure my PC wasn't fucking up. But apparently the sound came from your end. That's the sound my PC often makes when it can't find the USB cord for chargers on my old headphones. Sounds like you might have a USB connection issue again for its... Well, oh well. I don't know. Yeah, where does Mayborn keep getting these explosives? He's not allowed a gun, but explosives? Sure, why not? I have no idea. Sam's conclusion to O'Neill being on the planet's moon was a bit hastily done. Yeah, TV show's got a TV show.
TV show's got a TV show.
I wonder if that bang was loud for you guys. Mayborn did get paranoid really fucking fast. Maybe it had something to do with the food that he ate, but then why didn't O'Neill get paranoid? I don't know, man. It just came out of nowhere. It really feels like it. So yeah, 16 wasn't all that. But I liked the mention of the furlings, keeping the mystery going. Okay, we're 7 minutes into episode 16, and there's a bunch of times that the name Nirti has been dropped. Only now do they decide to check for a bomb. Vish, that'd be the first thing I'd check. True, yes. You about Jonas because he flirted with the nurse. He's going to have to flirt with Nirti. Oh, no. You calling me out about my Neytiri thing? It's such an interesting name. I like it. Alright, cool. But her name is Nirti, though. Yeah, I'm calling you out, even though that you felt uncomfortable after they kept saying Nirti. Nah! Look, I called what's-her-face Shayira, okay? I do what I want. I rename characters. That's what I do. Okay? Last one for it's you. Managed to pick an episode where Peter DeLuise wasn't on screen to figure out who he's playing. I'm gonna spoil you on something. Next time he shows up in a one-off, if his episodes, you won't recognize him either. Even if you looked up what he looks like. Oh, rude. There was, however, this is actually funny, he told me about this. There was actually a person you didn't recognize, and it would have been amazing if you had recognized him. The main guy helping SG-1, really misformed looking dude, Woden. You've seen him before. He was Daniel's bestie, probably taking his break from his tour across the galaxy promoting his beats. Yep, you know damn well I put something in the edit calling you out on this one too. It's extremely funny because I literally said, right, this guy looks like he needs to pee. Like he looked like he was holding his pee in, okay? And I even made a reference to Chaka, and I was like, he'd be good friends with Chaka. And it was him. He was Chaka. This episode is kind of boring. In fact, both of them were. I'm currently watching a scene where Nirti is trying to seduce Jonas, and all I can focus on is Nirti's fucked up eyeliner. That can't be a real fashion choice. Well, I mean, she's supposed to be a god, right? And another Goa'uld to check off the list. Ding dong, the Wicked Witch is dead. Lame way to write off not being able to use the device to make superhumans, I guess. Have the citizens of that world be allowed to destroy the device. Oh well, episode over. Next. Right. Let's get into it.
The missile sub Rostov was less than 75 kilometers from the impact of the meteor.
And in the spirit of international cooperation,
this guy's
a
in
deep
everything.
submergence rescue vehicle was sent from Pearl Harbor.
Yes, unfortunately, the Rostov's reactor went critical before she arrived on the scene.
I mean, he's even
I have
fucking
heard
lost.
the government repeat this story time and time again. Yet according to our Naval Intelligence Service, on the day in question, the submarine in question was, in fact, still taking on supplies in the harbor at Vladivostok.
Your intelligence is wrong.
The Americans are hiding something, have been for years now. That Russia seems to have no objection is all the more confusing.
In the spirit of cooperation between...
Please, what you call a new spirit of cooperation between your two countries, Colonel, makes the People's Republic of China uncomfortable.
Mr. Ambassador, I am sure we can provide you with the necessary evidence.
That won't be necessary, Colonel.
General? Gentlemen, please be seated. First and foremost, gentlemen, welcome to the Pentagon. Please forgive any security measures you've had to undergo in order to get here. In America, we try never to underestimate the competence nor curiosity of our media. We've asked you here to inform you of a top-secret operation that the United States Air Force has been operating out of Cheyenne Mountain. It's called the Stargate program.
So we're going public? Or semi-public?
Gentlemen, the Stargate. The device itself was discovered in Egypt in 1928, where it lay buried for several thousand years. 1945, a team of scientists hoping to find a military application for the device successfully established a stable wormhole by a process of random dialing, which they were unable to repeat. The gate remained inactive until 8 years ago, when this man, Dr. Daniel Jackson, joined the program. Dr. Jackson
He looks a
successfully
little
deciphered
different
the symbols
there,
on the gate, allowing us to begin routine exploration of alien worlds. Since that time, we have visited literally hundreds of planets. Thousands more remain to be explored.
Thousands? You mean, like, way more than that.
This is absurd.
I know it's a lot to process, gentlemen. The first time I saw the gate activated, I could hardly believe my eyes.
It is true.
You know about this?
The Russian government has been aware of the Stargate program for quite some time.
Are you quite serious? Did your president not recently call Great Britain
I
America's
really
closest
feel like you're
ally?
putting on a fake accent, dude.
One of our own people illegally sold the Russians information which allowed them to temporarily operate their own program.
You at one of these Stargates?
For a short time.
How many of these bloody things are there?
There was another Stargate. It was recovered from the bottom of the ocean 2 years ago.
I don't understand.
SG-1 was trapped aboard an Asgard vessel. They beamed aboard our Stargate as their means of escape.
Oh, is this gonna be one of those episodes? To be fair, we haven't had one in a very long time. I've already seen this. I feel like I just, like, don't want to watch this. Like, I feel like I just want to, like, skip past this until the next part that I haven't seen. But this is part of the episode, so I kind of have to keep it in. Like, I've seen this.
So the gate the Russians recovered from the Pacific was the gate first discovered in Egypt. We replaced that gate with the gate we discovered in Antarctica 5 years ago.
That Stargate has since been destroyed.
The original gate is back in Cheyenne Mountain under lease from the Russian government.
The explosion of your nuclear submarine was the cover story for these events.
Actually, the Rostov explosion was to cover up the explosion of a crashed Goa'uld ship.
Whereas the Stargate was aboard an Asgard ship. Obviously, this is very confusing at first glance.
No. What could be more clear? There were two different sorts of alien ships. I follow completely. Although I am a bit dubious that not one, but two reported meteors in the last few years were in fact alien ships.
Actually, there were 3.
Gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm late, but I had a meeting on the Hill that couldn't be postponed.
Senator?
General, what have I missed?
Your officers have been telling us several tall tales.
You're telling me you've been at this God knows how long and they don't even believe you? Well, I don't know what they've told you, but it's true. The The Stargate exists, and they go through the damn thing on a daily basis.
Does everyone in your government know about this?
As chairman of the Appropriations Committee, Senator Kinsey was given a full briefing.
Truth is, I demanded to know where all the money was going. I'm sure that what you're finding hard to believe is why we would come forward with any of this. Granted, the Chinese government has threatened to go public with information that contradicts one of our cover stories. But that isn't the only reason. The fact is, due in no small part to the actions of the Stargate program's flagship team, SG-1, our planet is facing imminent danger.
Again? Must be a
So-
Tuesday.
Assuming this is
think
not
it's a
some
Wednesday
sort
for me,
of
whatever.
elaborate hoax, and there are no television cameras ready to pop out at any moment, these aliens who threaten to destroy Earth even as we speak,
The Goa'uld.
they built the Stargate.
No, sir. The gate system was built by a much older race of aliens that have long since disappeared. While the Goa'uld regularly use the gates, they subjugate these transplanted human races with powerful ships that are capable of interstellar travel.
Such as the one that crashed in the Pacific Ocean.
And the Goa'uld have dozens, if not hundreds, of these vessels.
This is a single Hatak-class vessel. Each Goa'uld system lord operates entire fleets of these. They also have mid-range bombers called Al-Kesh and small fighters known as Death Gliders.
Imagine, like, your first time watching Stargate, right? And you tune into this episode. You get caught up like that.
Goa'uld are more advanced than us in every way, and there can be no doubt that they have hostile intentions.
Can we negotiate with them?
The Goa'uld are a predatory species, sir. They will enslave a planet or in the face of resistance simply wipe out its inhabitants. They don't negotiate.
If what you are saying is true, then the United States government has unilaterally taken actions which have placed the whole world in jeopardy.
Believe me, Mr. Ambassador, I know how you feel. When this was first brought to my attention, I insisted that the gate was too dangerous to remain in operation. Unfortunately, I was overruled.
With due respect, Senator, the President took your recommendation, and it nearly resulted in disaster. It was only because of the efforts of SG-1, who violated your order to shut down the gate, that we managed to survive.
Oh, and they've done a great job since. Under your tenure, haven't they, General?
Yep.
You managed to defeat the Goa'uld, known as Apophis, only to see him replaced by another, more dangerous one. Isn't that a fair assessment?
I mean, that doesn't mean that. I mean, like, but it's just how things work. TV show has to bring up a new villain that's bigger and badder. It's like you don't know you're on a TV show.
As I have told your lieutenant, I will reveal nothing to you.
This device will be implanted into your brain. It will form a link between your mind and the ship's computer. Your knowledge will simply be downloaded into our memory banks. You will no doubt resist, and you will no doubt fail.
The Goa'uld possess no such technology.
I think you will find many things have changed since my return.
Are we expecting another attack?
Anubis is currently consolidating his
We're not
position
even talking about
in the
any of the
system.
other SG
It's only a
teams.
matter of time before he turns his attention back to Earth.
The nations represented in this room make up the bulk of this planet's military capacity. Our chances for successful resistance would be greatly improved if we would just work together.
This would require an unprecedented level of military cooperation, as well as a commitment from all of you to maintain absolute secrecy.
I'm afraid that may be impossible. If we're facing invasion, then we must warn our people so that they can prepare.
With all due respect, Mr. Ambassador, we feel that coming forward now would only result in widespread panic.
The government of China does not believe in keeping secrets from its people. We may have no choice but to release this information.
We're talking about a full-scale attack from space. I'm afraid people are going to notice.
We're hoping it won't come to that. As you now know, Stargate Command has managed to deal with several threats to the security of this planet without divulging any information to the general public.
You've been lucky and you know it.
We also have
I mean,
damn
there's
good
luck,
people
and then
we've
there's
given as good
what
as
they've
we've
dealt
got.
with. Like,
On one
it's-
occasion, we managed to wipe out an entire fleet of motherships.
This SG-1, I assume.
That's right.
A significant achievement, General. But it sounds as though the circumstances will be difficult to duplicate.
For all their advanced technology, the Goa'uld have a fatal flaw: arrogance.
We've been able to take advantage of the fact that they don't perceive us to be a serious threat.
Clearly, that's no longer the case.
The point is, they're not invincible. Our technology may be inferior, but it is effective. During the 6 years that the Stargate has been in operation, we've acquired a working knowledge of certain alien technologies. We tried to adapt those technologies to our own uses. After the failure of the X-301, we began to concentrate on creating an entirely man-made craft with similar abilities. The result was the X-302.
Navigation.
Check.
Oxygen pressure, temperature control.
All check.
Inertial dampeners.
Cool. And check.
Engines.
All check. Phasers?
Sorry, sir. All systems operational. Mission command, all systems go from Abydos 1.
Do you mean to tell me that the United States Air Force is currently flying a fighter interceptor that is capable of both aerial combat and space flight?
That's correct.
This is unacceptable.
Mr. Ambassador, I understand how you feel.
With all due respect, General, I don't think you do. Your government has been operating this Stargate for 6 years, supposedly for the benefit of all mankind. Yet now we find out that you've been taking advantage of the situation to create military hardware that radically alters the balance of power on this planet.
The X-302 was designed to defend against the Goa'uld. We have no intention of using it against our neighbors.
And for that, we have only your word.
The United States has had such capabilities for some time, but have not used them on other nations.
Are there any other new technologies that we need to know about?
Might as well tell them, General. They're going to find out sooner or later.
Prometheus?
Ever since we encountered a Goa'uld mothership, we have been working to find a viable countermeasure.
Prometheus was designed to carry a complement of 8 X-302 fighters and is one of several planned.
I must contact my government immediately.
Mr.
You can
Ambassador,
fucking wait. We're not done.
we volunteered this information in a spirit of cooperation. We're trying to create a coalition to defend the entire world.
Under your leadership.
We have the experience.
Oh, I'm sorry, General. But it may be impossible to achieve an agreement as long as the Stargate and any resultant technologies remain solely under the control of the United States military.
What do you suggest?
We could move the gate to a neutral location and create a permanent staff drawn from all 5 nations.
I'm afraid we can't agree to that.
Well, that choice may finally not be up to you. Once the rest of the world learns of the Stargate, they may well demand it.
Perhaps I can offer a compromise. Please?
What have you got to say?
I sympathize with the ambassador's position. A device as powerful as the Stargate in the hands of a military organization, it's a recipe for abuse, despite everyone's best intentions.
What are you suggesting?
We have a civilian agency known as the NID. Now, its mandate has been to keep an eye on top secret projects like the Stargate program and has done so from the beginning. I propose that we give this organization direct control of the gate, effective immediately.
Absolutely
You
not.
can't be serious.
I'm completely serious, General. The NID is the only organization besides the Air Force that has the knowledge, experience, and skill to run the Stargate.
I mean, the NID is still
Come now, Major.
American
Those are rogue agents
thingy,
working for
right?
outside interests. Under the NID, I'm sure that we can determine a suitable level of participation for all the great nations represented here at this table.
Senator, could we speak in private?
I find your reluctance to relinquish military control of the gate disturbing, General.
You do a lot better to trust the United States Air Force than the NID, Mr. Ambassador.
The General has an understandable personal prejudice against the organization.
Personal prejudice, Senator, their record speaks for itself. 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by a representative of the NID. He suggested I should become more aggressive in my policies.
We have no jurisdiction over you.
They wanted me to help them gain access to off-world technology, which they're unable to do since we shut down their little side operation.
You told him to go to hell.
Of course. Then he told me if I didn't cooperate, there would be consequences. The next day, 2 men in plain clothes, driving a black, unmarked car, picked up my granddaughters at school. I don't believe it. They took them for a little ride and brought them home. The girls were fine, but I got the message. We're talking about a borderline criminal organization whose true mandate has always been to acquire alien technology at any cost.
If the threat posed by this Anubis is as serious as you say, acquiring alien technology should be our first priority.
Tell that to the people of Madrona, sir. Even after we managed to shut down their operation here on Earth, they continued to steal from an off-world base. But they stole from the wrong aliens.
doing?
Taking back what's rightfully theirs, I guess. Listen up, all of you. You got two choices here. As soon as they stop taking stuff, they're gonna start taking people. Now, you can go with the Asgard, or you can follow me. It's your choice. I'll be holding the door open so you can't go anywhere else.
Granted, the NID has employed some questionable methods in the past, but we're all agreed the status quo won't do. And I would hesitate to point fingers, General Hammond, that you and Jack O'Neill are still in charge of the Stargate program.
If you're questioning our record...
I'm questioning your competence. But if you want to look at your records in the company of these fine gentlemen, each of these reports details an incident in which the operation of the Stargate program has brought this planet to the brink of destruction. Isn't it true that while under your command, the Stargate facility has been completely overrun by alien life forms?
Get out of there!
Didn't you just want to talk to him or something? I don't remember. I thought this was redacted. Hello?
Close that iris.
Can't, sir. It's overridden. Shutting down the gate.
The situation was successfully contained.
The situation should never have arisen. Not if you had been doing your job. And these incidents are just the tip of the iceberg.
But we learned things from a lot of them, so I mean...
Under your command, the Stargate program has lurched from one crisis to the next, never averting disaster by anything more than the skin of its teeth. We can't afford to let you roll the dice any longer.
So you're gonna let someone else roll the dice who has zero luck,
Would you
or
excuse
whatever
us,
you
please?
want to call it.
I made a few phone calls, sir. Turns out Senator Kinsey's moving from appropriations to intelligence oversight.
Which would put him in a position of direct power over the NID.
He's manipulated this whole situation to gain control of the Stargate.
I may have my own ace up my sleeve.
I understand your feelings, Mr. Ambassador, believe me. For 2 years now, we've been junior partners in the Stargate program, following the lead of the Americans.
The Chinese government will not accept a secondary position.
I like that the Russian guy is at
Their
least
arrogance
taking him
just-
inside.
The program cost them over $7 billion a year to operate.
Well, they reap the benefits.
The X-303. Research and development of the hyperdrive alone has cost them over $2 billion, and it still doesn't function properly. They will spend a lot more money and risk the lives of their people perfecting the design. Then we'll get the blueprints and build our own ship in a fraction of the time for half the cost.
Once again, I apologize, gentlemen. Seems a politician's work is never done.
They do all the work and you just show up for the presentation, I guess.
Now, where were we?
Gentlemen, I realize we're in no position to make demands here. We're trying to reach a consensus. But before you go back to your leaders and make your recommendations, I want you to consider something. Whoever is running the Stargate will be acting as representatives of this planet throughout the galaxy. They will be our ambassadors, meeting other races, establishing ties with other worlds. It is true that in the 6 years we've been running the Stargate, we've made enemies, but we've also made friends.
This is the Asgard planet Othala in the galaxy of Ida.
Why did I come here?
The ancients moved on from our region of space long ago, but your subconscious mind used their knowledge to find us here, where you could get help.
Very impressive.
Well, you know.
We did not think your brains had advanced even that far.
How is it you know so much about our brains?
We have studied your race closely.
What did you learn?
That your species has great potential.
Great potential. That's good.
It's like they're telling this story, but like they weren't there. Half of these things they actually weren't there, and they're like telling the stories. It's kind of funny. I know that they debrief and everything like that, but like, do they go into such detail where they're like, the ground was black and shiny?
I'm afraid I must take this matter back to my government and recommend full disclosure to our people.
I had a feeling when they mentioned the Asgard just then.
Hello?
Hello, I am Thor. Supreme Commander of the Asgard Fleet.
Thank you for coming, Thor.
It is my pleasure, General Hammond. The Asgard are in your debt.
Your debt?
SG-1, under the command of General Hammond, has saved my people and yours on many occasions. We are not only allies against the Goa'uld, we are true friends.
Commander Thor, my name is...
Senator Kinsey. O'Neill suggested I send you to a distant planet for your actions here, but I am reasonably certain his statement was in jest.
I'm sure it was, Commander.
Supreme Commander. It is the opinion of the Asgard High Council that Stargate Command should be left in the very capable hands of General Hammond and his team. And while our continued friendship with Earth is not contingent on that, it is preferred.
You came all this way just to tell us that?
And to install Asgard-designed shields and weapons on Prometheus. A small token of thanks for SG-1's recent efforts in securing our galaxy and yours from certain destruction.
I thought you guys don't step in.
I hope I've been successful in convincing you. Good day, General Hammond.
Always a pleasure, Thor.
We'll get a beer later.
Well, that settles it then. You have our support, General.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Ours
Well, that changed your
as
mind.
well.
And the continued support of Russia.
It's much appreciated, sir. While I still have my reservations, I believe my government will agree that, for the time being, Stargate is in the right hands.
Everyone changes their minds? I don't know.
Senator?
That feels a little bit convoluted. Just a little.
I'll say this, General. Well played.
Hey, what's up you guys? Quick interruption here. As you are no doubt aware, these past few years have been tough on all of us. And there are some things that none of us can hide from. The cost of living, for instance, food and things like electricity, gas, and water have all gone up, and they continue to go up. Now, I don't really like to advertise this, but in order to afford keeping the lights on, the camera running, and to be able to provide you guys with new content like this very edit, for example, I feel I need to let you guys know about how you can help support the channel and myself. I have a Patreon that if you pledge to, you're helping support the channel, and in return, you can get a vast amount of content that you wouldn't regularly get on YouTube, such as full unedited reactions to my regular content, a ton of other shows and movies that you probably don't even know that I've reacted to. A link to this can be found in the description below, and it really does help the channel by keeping me and my very cute cats alive. Think of the cats. If you're interested, you can also check out our website, which is also linked below. Perhaps there's some shows and movies there that you didn't even know that I reacted to, but you always wanted to see. Please know, pledging is entirely your own choice, of course. You're welcome to stay here on YouTube and wait for the edits to come out. No worries. I'm not going anywhere. More edits are coming. I understand not everyone is in the position to support creators, but any help is welcome. Anyways, thank you for your continued support, whether it's through YouTube or on Patreon. You guys are the best. Now please, enjoy the rest of the video. Alrighty, well that was Stargate SG-1 Season 6 Episode 17. It was a clip show episode where we also kind of revealed to other nations about the Stargate. It was not my kind of episode. I've talked about this in the past when we had clip show episodes. I've already seen what was going on, so like I feel it's difficult to react to like half of the episode because it's stuff I've already seen, and then the rest was like talking politics and stuff, and that is also something I wasn't keen on. I mean, like we literally had like a politics like literally the episode I think was called Politics in Season 1, and it kind of felt like that here, but more clips because they've been through a lot more. It's interesting. I don't think they had any clips. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think they had any clips with Jonas in this one. Anyways, It was okay. It was okay. That's the best you're gonna get from me, I think. But, yeah. What did you guys think? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.